break off and... Oh, yeah, okay.
Right. We need to set up Kip now.
I'm gone.
Yeah, let's take that finger, break the piece off. So even though I got the salve, apparently the salve is useful for this. Anyway, welcome everyone to the Retro Gaming Junction. This is Camilio. And we're continuing Planescape Torment. The surface of this painting, a wild collage of vivid colors, ripples constantly, as if it were the surface of a pond during a light rain. A placard reads, Wave Motion Study number 7. Touch the painting. You place your palm against the canvas. You cannot feel the ripples themselves, though a cool, tingling sensation passes through your hand at first contact. A brilliant ruby statuette stands on this pedestal. Carved into the image of a winged humanoid, the figure is either demonic or angelic in nature, but it is difficult to tell which, because it refracts the lights on the Galleria strangely. There is no placard indicating what exactly the statuette is.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Hey Rick, how's it going? A massive horn of beaten lead, wound with brazen chains. The horn is horribly mangled, as if some tremendous force has crushed it. Jagged blades protrude along its length, almost as if it were meant to be used as club by some gigantic creature, as well as a battle horn. The placard mounted beneath the horn reads, Cleansing Horn of Acheron. Put your head against the wall. Try and blow the horn. Try as you might, you can't get no sound to issue from the massive horn. Your lips come away from the mouthpiece, tasting of blood, smoke, and metal. A painting of tall, black cliffs against a blood-red sky. There looks to be figures hiding among the crags of the cliffs, but whenever you squint at the painting to try and make them out, the images fade into nothing. A placard reads, Outland Raiders. I'm sorry, but I'm here to look at the artwork. Bye-bye. The painting, an abstract work of greens and purples, writhes and ripples as it's watched. Closer examination reveals that the actual painting image is changing, rather than the canvas itself. A placard states, Moments glance from the walls of Mokma. Touch the painting. You place your hand. Nothing much happens. This painting shows what looks to be an infinite long stream of bilious green gas, stretching off into darkness. The horizon of a blasted, rocky plain can be seen in the lower right-hand corner of the painting. One is given the impression that the head of the green cloud is rearing to strike down upon it. A placard reads, Azazoth, at the consumption of Ngar. An animated bloody iron chain coiling and uncoiling upon itself. The chain itself seems to bend and weave like a spine of a snake. A small placard reads, A Chiton's animate chain from Jangling Hitler. Touch the chain. The chain is slightly warm to the touch, as if it were alive. You notice that various barbs, tiny hooks, needles, and other small sharp bits are welded along the chain's length. This is where we entered.
Done. I'm gone.
Okay, so we're gonna buy some stuff here. Exotic items. So yeah, the Gorgon Salve apparently it's good for that guy, so we're gonna take it. Even though I tried to make it work last time, but it wasn't working. The metallic cube figurine. How much is it? 1,500 copper coin. I probably want to take it, but I don't need it right now. I'll just see how much money I have after all this. The monster jug, I think it's just a monster in a jug. Like nothing interesting here. Ah, there you go. I had all the items open. What's with the ice cream cones on the map? This the ice cream cones? No, there's staffs. So middle of the store, Fiend's Tongue, which I already bought, Gargan Salve, which I bought, which is useful, Metallic Cube, which is useful. It's a new character and a dungeon. Monster Jug. It releases a hostile Girillith. How much XP is that? That is 14,000 XP. That is 14,000 XP, and this is 100 coppers. Huh. I think I will buy it. We'll probably will buy everything. I would buy everything. The problem is the money, but that's not too bad. Some items are not that expensive. But the big problem, the biggest problem is the cluttering of the inventory. Because of course, most of these I'll have to have on me for the rest of the game. But the Elixir of Horrific Separation, I was right. That's for the guy. So we'll definitely buy that. Anyway, we'll buy almost everything. Yes, I am. You know, we'll wait for the 14,000 XP. And we have more people in our inventory, in our inventory, in our with us. So yeah, we'll wait for this. Run store. So the baby oil might be nothing. No. Apparently the chocolate is good for a guy wants some chocolate, and it's 200 copper. I don't know. This is 1,000 X. This is just a one shot 1,000 XP, but it's a 1,000 GP, so I don't think it's worth it at all. I won't buy it. Devastator, we need it for something, and it's only $100. I'm gonna buy it. Yeah, we'll buy the elixir. So how much money do we have? Okay, it's we're good. Backstore. Stain lens. The stain lens is I don't know, it's nothing. Should be purchased, yields the anticlimactic and near useless beer goggles. It's for Nordrum anyway. Okay, we'll come back then. The Ring of Almost Invisibility, that's just +1 AC, so I don't care about that. And it's 350 copper. Rune, most of these things are so cheap that you should just buy them. Rune covered Ailstein. Apparently that's something that's useful. So let's buy it. It's pretty expensive. And then we have the ragdoll. And that's it? The tattooed ragdoll is a ragdoll of the Lady of Pain. It's like a voodoo doll of the Lady of Pain. It says that you can make it maze you, probably by fucking around with it. It can maze you. There's other ways to get mazed, and if we don't get mazed until a while in the game, I will come back here and buy that.
Done.
So in terms of money, we're fine. Nothing has been dropped on the ground. This is just meh. And apparently she can buy a lot of stuff that other people cannot. Like this, but this is only worth 12. But I should start selling. This is 400 bucks, this enchanted armor. I don't need this. And if I want it back, I could just buy it back. Let's see, what's the markup? What's the... Well, no, let me see the merchandise. If I sell this and I want to buy it back again. Okay. Okay, so it's nothing. Like, that's fine. Wow, that's... Usually it's like double the price, right? Actually, I even just sell this ring? But I can dispose of some things here. What's this? Apparently these are stackables. I have a hard time believing that. A lot of these charms are very expensive. Cursed. Okay, it curses people. Huh. Okay, so maybe it is better than this. 1/6 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. 2/5 plus 1. Poison. Oh, fragile, breakable. Oh. It's still a good item that I should use. I should just sell these things here. But it's so little money that I prefer just keeping them in my stash. Still Doge, it's just one. We have 2 iron prime bar, right? Sell this one.
Done.
Okay, and Clean Stung, Slave, Elixir of Separation. So I can use this Elixir of Separation right now. At the apothecary. I've got this elixir of horrific separation. Do you think that'll help you? Here you are then. A reward? 6,000 XP. Peso Kiln takes the bottle in both his hands and places it beneath the counter. His left eye focuses on you, while his right eye and hand concentrate on scribbling furiously on the countertop. We can use this to make something that'll fix it. Right on up. Now, if you'll give us a moment, when we get it all worked, agak out, we'll make it some healing stuff for reward. He turns to head to the back of the shop. Alright, farewell for now then. So the yeah, Pestle. This man clearly resembles Pestle Kiln, though without the crawling skin and constant subtle mutations. Greetings again, sir, and well met. And what is it I, Pestle, can do for you? I was hoping to get some healing concoctions. Of course, your reward, let's see now. I'll manufacture them for you for nothing, of course. I'll need the proper ingredients. An Oli's heart, or powdered hematite, or the air of a deva, or the thread from the what the fuck. Actually, my wounds heal very quickly. Vessel raised an eyebrow. Do they now? Well then your own blood just might do. Here, give me a sample if you would. Give him a bit of your blood. After drawing a small quantity of your blood and retreating to the back of the store, Vessel returns with a number of what appears to be ardent drops of blood. Placed upon one's tongue, these clot charms will heal existing wounds and aid in the prevention of new ones. So that's how they're used. You put them on your tongue. Buy something? He sells the Gorgon Salve. Interesting. Or 96 bucks, which I think is cheaper than the other one. Huh. Bunch of charms. The guy has a lot of stuff. Questions? No questions. Oh, he doesn't sell stuff. It's only him. Okay, so this guy is just... Questions. He doesn't answer questions. That's it. We're done with that guy.
I'm gone.
Okay. Let's move on. Airport Tug. What's in there? The linguist. I'm not sure I went there. So there's this weird guy here that if I talk to, he gets pissed. Jan glances your way, chosen to grace my own once more, or we may have talked to you already.
Done. All right.
Well, yeah, we've been there, of course.
You just put him on one guy. I know about that, right?
Okay, that's another sewer entrance under sigil, okay. The Advocate's own. The Advocates.
Yeah, let's sample a little poodle, eh?
The Advocate.
All right.
Who the fuck is the Advocate? Oh, the Advocate, the lawyer. We heard about
We need
advocates.
to say up Kip now.
No, she really wants to sleep. We should go sleep. This man is dressed in soft blue robes, covered with intricate designs. Despite their opulence, however, the robes look wrinkled and worn. You place the man's age somewhere between middle age and early 60s. The worried lines make an exact determination difficult. As you enter, the man turns slowly toward you. As he does, you are suddenly struck with a terrible sense that you know this man. Or did at one time. The man squints as if trying to place you. Yes, there's something that I can help you with. Who are you?
Updated my journal.
I am Yanis. Were you looking for me? I don't know. What is this place? I'm an advocate. These are my offices. Yanis's voice takes on an irritated edge. Do you seek counsel? If not, perhaps you had best test your curiosity elsewhere. An advocate. What's that?
Updated my journal.
Mort breaks in with a whisper. He's saying he's a lawyer, a counselor, one of those Burks who rattle their bone box at the courts. Yanis' frown deepens. An advocate provides counsel, helps others navigate the labyrinths of Sigil's legal system, arranges legacies for citizens to ensure that their property is divided as they choose upon death, defends those in Sigil's court who have been wrongly accused. Did you need help in one of these areas? I could use some counsel. Legacies. There are contracts that are deliverable at the death of the client. They provide specifics on how a person's possession are to be divided upon the event of their demise. I also have heard them called wills. Are they anything like the Dustman contracts? Oh my, no. The Dustman contracts, while they are deliverable at the time of the client's death, bequeath the client's body to the dustman. Not a pleasant business at all, but some who are poor of means find the dustman contract to be a means of support. How would one go about invalidating a dustman contract?
Updated my journal.
One that is already signed, little or nothing can be done when the signature is in place. The dustman contract is quite specific on the destination of the corpse after death. Without destruction of the contract, there's really nothing that could be done. So maybe if your character is not smart enough to understand they just needed to destroy the contract. For the mission with the Dustman contract, the guy he signed the contract and then he wanted to cancel it. Maybe you need to come here to get this information? Do I owe you anything for this information? No, I will not ask for that. Are you alright? You must excuse me. As of late, I've been beset by troubles. I'm afraid it has been rather trying times. Anything I could help with? No, there's little that can be done. Perhaps talking about your troubles will help ease your mind. I do not wish to burden you. I lost my daughter not long ago. It's also the fire. But that is another matter. Tell me of your daughter. Instantly, Yanis seems to collapse into himself. Yes. His businesslike facade drains from his face, to be replaced with cold despair. My daughter, Dayanara, passed away some time ago. Oh shit. We know her. Tell me about her, what she was like. How did she die? I saw a woman by the name inerted in the mortuary. I saw a woman by that name inerted in the mortuary. She had become a ghost and claimed she knew me. Actually, tell me more about this fire. Or should we just say this? I could go there, but realistically, that would start with this. Then talk about how she was. Not start with how she was, how she died, and then tell him, oh, I saw a ghost. What? What did you just say? Her spirit now resides in the memorial hall. Her spirit now resides in the memorial hall. I spoke with her for a time. She seems to be in distress. I said nothing. Tell me again of Dayanara. Nothing. I misspoke. Perhaps there is something else you can help me with. She seems distressed. You spoke to her. What distresses her? I'm not certain. I wasn't able to make out what she was saying. Me, apparently. She said that she loved me, and that I had loved her, that I had forsaken her. I see. Perhaps... Yanis frowns and studies you. His face has become like stone. Are you the one she left Sigil with? The one who led her on the journey that killed her? I'm not certain. I think I may be that man, but I've forgotten much. I don't think so. She seemed hysterical and knew little of her surroundings. You might want to go seek her out. Let's go with this. You are the one. And you say you have forgotten. Yanis draws himself up. He looks like he is squaring himself for battle. You have forgotten. But the incident was not so long ago. How can this be? I have a strange condition. I lose myself for a time. Anything you can tell me about myself or your daughter would be invaluable. Countless liars have I known in my tenure in the city. Yanis studies you intently. You do not strike me as one of them, at least on this matter. If you truly do not remember, then whatever befell you and my daughter on your journey must have left deep scars. I'm inclined to agree. Then I ask your word on this. If your memory returns and you discover what has happened to my daughter, return to me so that my mind may at last be at rest on this matter. I will do that. If I found out what happened to her, I will return if I can. Yeah, let's say this. Very well. Farewell. Oh no. Greetings. Questions. Okay. Who are you again? What is this place? What kind of council? I could use some counsel. Who are you against? Council, what can I help you with? The same things. What's an advocate again? Legacies. The fire. There is nothing much to say about the matter. It was a strange localized fire. I cannot imagine what would have been precious in the documents that were burned, but someone must have wanted them destroyed. Any luck in locating this person responsible? No, neither the Harmonian nor the Mercy Killers have had any fortune in locating the person responsible. What was burned? A number of old legacies were burned, and some mementos and other keepsake of value only to me. Legacies. Tell me about your daughter. Dayanara. She was young. She had recently joined the Society of Sensation, the Sensates. Not an unpleasant faction, but she had also met someone there. She followed him on a journey, and there she died. Her body... He looks pained. I was not even able to recover her body. You say she was a sensate.
Updated my journal.
Yes, he becomes slightly more animated, as if warming himself on a precious memory. She had joined them because of her gift, and the fact there was so much about the multiverse that she wanted to experience. The sensates lend themselves readily to the sharing of experience and sensation. Gift.
Updated my journal.
Oh yes, my daughter had the blood of an oracle running in her veins, but it was unreliable talent. At times she could predict events before they took place. She had sight. She could see through time itself, sift through the threads of fate. She was a sensei. We said that already. Do you know where she went on this journey? She never said. I'm not certain she was capable of saying where she had gone. Must have been a terrible place. How did she die? I do not know. Her body was never recovered. Yanis' face turns blood red and his hands clench into fists. And that is perhaps the most maddening part of this misery. I will never know what possessed her to run off like that. What happened to her? Nor where her body lies now. How do you know she's dead if you never saw the body? We did talk to her ghost. It is most curious. I went to the Dustmen to see if they had found her body, and they directed me to one of their faction outside the Dustman monument. A Dustman named Death of Names, I believe. He is said to be an oracle of sorts concerning those who have died. He told me my daughter had died. Perhaps something I can help you with? I'm pretty sure we can go into a quest for this thing that was burned, but it's not on my list of quests.
Done.
But I remember this. It's definitely not here.
All right. All right.
The young man smiles as you enter his tent, gesturing for you to sit down. Clean and wax your boots. No thanks. And farewell to you. Please return. You should need your boot shine. Leave. Interesting. A boot shiner if I ever need it. Diligence. This older, stern-looking woman is clearly on her way somewhere. When she notices your approach, she studies you with disapproving, tight-lipped frown. Greetings. The woman nods curtly, speaking in a tone cold as ice. Yes, what is it? And watch your words, for I am Diligence, 4th Magistrate of the Ward. You're who? Diligence. Diligence simply stares at you, a faintly disgusted look upon her face. Something troubling you about my appearance? I should most certainly think so. Should the Apparel Regulation Act be passed, people of your sort won't be permitted to tripes about in such a manner, half naked and filthy as you are. I'm quite clean, begging your pardon, and meaning no disrespect, madam. Some cultures might find your clothes offensive. You're quick to judge one by their appearance, aren't you? This look is all the rage in the hive, you know. Perhaps you should try it. Just might suit you. Questions. Let's try this. She examined you skeptically for a moment. Your point is well taken, sir. Still, though, you cannot deny you are rather rough-looking. My appearance is merely a product of my environment, madame, and a difficult life. I shouldn't be held accountable for that. Oh, but you should. How easy it is for one to blame one's life, one's surrounding, for their every failing. I can see by your manner you are well educated, sir, yet you appear to insist upon the life cycle of wandering and senseless violence. Why not settle in sigil, become a contributing citizen, rather than some bloody-handed nomad in its streets? The choice is out of my hands, I assure you. Oh, how so? Her coldness melts away in a look of curiosity. Tell her your story, or what you know of it. Diligence looks shocked. That is quite a tale, sir. Were it only a tale, madame, it is my life, and I have the scars to prove it. As you noted when we first met, I believe. Isn't it farewell? Yes, quite so. She smiles slightly. You had begun to wonder if she was even capable of such a thing. I wish you luck, sir, in your undertakings. May you find yourself once more. Thanks. I did have some questions. She shakes her head. I'm afraid I'm a busy woman. My position as 4th Magistrate leaves me little time for which to answer your questions. Bye-bye. Leave me be.
You just put him on one guy, I know about that.
This tall, slender woman, sipping wine from a small ceramic cup, appears to be looking for someone. Her facial features are elegantly exotic, and the woman's ears, though partially covered by her long hair, can be seen to come to sharp points. Greetings. The woman turns to face you, violet eyes flashing like flawless chips of amethyst. Her speech is as music. You can hear a faint musical tingling, 100 tiny crystal bells as she speaks. Each word lingers in your ears As if they were unwilling to relinquish the exquisite sound, Nemel turned to face the scarred, thou stranger. She asked what he wished of her. Wow. Pah! Anna sneers at Mort. Stop your drooling, you leering skull. My, what an odd-blooded little chit. Starved for attention? I could drool over you, too, if you're just jealous. Mort starts floating toward Anna, making a wet, slavering noises. Get your hair's breadth closer, skull, and I'll see to it that not a one of chattering teeth lies within 100 paces of another. Mort stops abruptly, turning away while muttering unintelligibly. You're Nemel. I was told you know the command word for this decanter. Oh, shit. Nemel, your friend Elwyn is looking for you. Let's go with the decanter first. The woman makes no move to touch or examine the decanter, but only speaks. Nemel took it from the stranger, turning it in her hands. Had she seen its like before? She thought. Perhaps. Yes, she remembered now. She returned the decanter, whispering into his ears as she did so.
Updated my journal.
You realize you know the word now. Nilda Nosage. Though you're certain the woman never whispered to you, but merely said she did, she blinks at you. Would the stranger leave her now, satisfied with what she had told him? Not yet. Your friend, Elwyn, is looking for you.
Updated my journal.
Nemel's lips from a perfect smile. An infectious happiness radiates from her, clinging to you like sweat-smelling warmth. Nemel was overjoyed to hear of her friend. Was Owlin close by? She's at another cafe east of here, across this part of the ward. Nemel thanked the man of his wondrous news. Soon she would go to visit her oldest friend, Elwyn. Now, though, she would reward the stranger. No, that's all right. I need no reward. Wait for her to reward you. Yeah. She would draw the stranger close, laying her hand upon his chest and kissing the pale, leathery skin of his cheek. Life would flow into him, invigorating him. This, then, was to be his reward. Wait. 8,000 XP, max HP plus 3. Nice. As you wait, there is a light tingling sensation upon your cheek and chest. The feeling spreads across the whole of your body, and you begin to feel stronger, more animated. Thanks, I had some questions. Nemel listened to the stranger's questions, but could answer none. But I haven't even asked. Nemel smiles at you, slowly shaking her head, your face reflected in her shimmering eyes. Frustrated, confused, he at last gave up. It was clear to this woman possessed no more knowledge that was of use to him, or if she did, she could not be persuaded to share it. What? No, just let me ask you something. You open your mouth, but no words come out. Try as you might, you cannot question her. Nemel shakes her head sadly. Farewell, then.
You know, I've learned some new tricks.
Level up.
Aye?
Fighting skill improved. Cool. Able ponder thought. This older man looks somewhat bookish. His clothing and accessories are extremely clean, neat, and well cared for, and he often pauses to brush some fleck of dust or lint off of them. A symbol resembling a stylized dagger, piercing upward through a flame, is embroidered upon his tunic. The man's eyes pass over you, gleaming as they fix on Mort. Oh, I say, would you look at that, a floating skull. Mort turns and looks behind him. Where? The man gasps, by the unjust laws of Tourney the Merciless. Who? He suddenly covers his mouth and looks at Anna apologetically. Sorry. The man was a horrible tyrant, now long dead. His name should never be spoken so. 'Tis rather vulgar. My deepest apologies, milady. I did not mean to offend. Anna shrugs, rolling her eyes. Talk as you like, Cutter. I care not a whit for what you say, unless you're rattling your bone box about me, that is. Try and get his attention. He turns back to Mort. But behold, a skull, buoyant, levitating off the ground, cognitive of its environment, and possessing hearing, speaking, and seeing capabilities. He turns to you as if you're suddenly confident. This is truly one of the reasons that the plane shall never become dull to me, sir. Just when you think you have seen everything, the planes show you yet another corner to peer around, and he raises his hands gloriously. Suddenly, whole new wondrous vistas are open to you. Actually, the talking, floating skull thing is quite common, right up there with self-resurrecting amnesiacs coming sigil for the lost identities. I'm not sure it more qualifies as wondrous vistas. The man ignores you, looking to Mort instead. I say, skull. Mort gasps. Look, behind you, another floating skull. Let Mort have his fun. The man seems to have forgotten you entirely, instead turning in shock to look for this other floating skull. No! Where? Right where I'm pointing, there. Where? I cannot see it. Mort speaks with mock exasperation. You just missed it. A whole parade of them. Probably never happen again in a million revolutions of the Great Ring. He turns and arums. I sense you also possess a peculiar degree of mockery. Mort bobs slightly as if shrugging. I prefer to refer to it as keen insights into human nature. Get the man's attention again. He suddenly seems to see you for the first time. The man's eyes widen. By the unjust laws of Torrid, he catches himself, looking apologetic. I say, are you alright? You look hurt. I'm alright. Aye, it hurts to look at him. It does. Anna. Very amusing, Anna. I had some question. An odd comment from someone with what looks to be a giant rat's tail. Oh no. Questions about you. Who are you? My name is Abel Ponderthought. Question about you.
What's going on, man?
Hey, Abstractism. What's going on, man? What do you do here? I passed my administrator exam just recently and have achieved the status of an A9, a research consultant in the Hall of Records, one of the many aides specializing in sigils, physical laws, and history. I research topics and laws of interest to others. Quite fascinating. Research. Could you look something up for me?
Updated my journal.
I'm looking for information about a night hag named Ravel Puzzlewell. I'm looking for information on any diseased person who matches my description. Playing some Fallout. Fallout. Probably not Fallout 1. You're probably not playing Fallout. Just say it. Fallout 4. Fallout 76. What the fuck is this Fallout thing? There's like 7 Fallout games. There you go. That was not my first thought. I thought Fallout 77 first. Why not just say Fallout 4? Deceased person matched my description. He seems puzzled. An odd request, sir. Such a man or man would have to have been noteworthy figures for my work to turn up anything of interest. Are you investigating an ancestor of yours or something like that? Can you check? Yes, I shall look into it. I shall have information in less than a day. Okay, so we need to come back to you. To look into something else? Puzzlewell? Ravel, if she truly existed, and there is little to prove that she did, she was a night hag, and one of the inhabitants of the Grey Waste, one of the lower planes, and believed by some to be the worst of the lower planes. Attempt to interrupt, to continue to listen. As the legend goes, Ravel was made several centuries ago. She was believed of being a mistress of many strange magics, and apparently her presence in sigil constituted a threat to the lady. I'm afraid that I know little about her. Mazed. The mazes. These are creations by the lady. You see, she takes a small piece of sigil, copies it, and uses a portal to place the copied bit into the deep ethereal. Once there, the piece of sigil then becomes a demi-plane, an endless maze that curls and twists about itself. Continue to listen. The lady uses these mail to imprison anyone who threatens her power. Once she has determined that you are to be imprisoned, there is no escaping them. There is believed to be a way out of each maze, but it is most likely extremely difficult. Can you research her? Yes, I shall look into it. Less than a day. Can you do both in less than a day? That'd be nice. About you. What do you do here? What's the symbol embroidered in your tunic? It's a symbol of the fraternity of order. We are responsible for much of the lawmaking and running the courts here in Sigil. Many judges, advocates, and clerks are members of our order, and we are pleased to be able to help enforce Sigil's laws and keep things orderly. We make a strident effort to learn all laws, whether they pertain to Sigil, the planes, or the multiverse itself. What does the Fraternity of Order believe?
Updated my journal.
The Fraternity of Order believes that the multiverse is governed by laws. When one knows all the laws, one will understand the multiverse. That is our goal. By understanding the laws, their limits, we learn to avoid certain laws. If you don't mind me asking, what sort of beliefs are in the position? Our fraternity allows us to read language quite easily. We may use some rules of the multiverse on occasion to suit our beliefs. About this place. I'll admit I know little of this part of the Clerk's Ward. Why is it called the Clerk's Ward? It's the seat of much of Sigil's record halls and administration. The staff of these places give the ward its name. Many clerks, scribes, priests, bureaucrats, and administration officers officials live in this ward. What's of interest around here? There's one of the finest advocates in Sigil located here. The Sigil Fest Hall, home of the Society of Sensation, is also located nearby. He lowers his voice. And the brothel, sir, of slating intellectual lusts. Tell me of the advocate. He is one of the Fraternity of Order, though his time there has embedded somewhat since the unfortunate troubles he has experienced. I am not one to speak of them. His residence is just across south and east. Fest Hall. It's a beautiful structure that is both the headquarters of the Society of Sensation and acts as a hall for the arts here in Sigil and the Plains. It's an opera house, museum, art gallery, wine shop, tavern, training hall, theater, sensoriums. Many things can be found there. Sensoriums. Yes, the sensates possess sensory stones, minerals that can store a person's experience within them. Once recorded, anyone may touch the stone and relive the experience stored in the sensory stone. Quite intriguing, really.
Updated my journal.
The Society of Sensation. They are one of the most prominent of Sigil's 15 factions. They hold the belief that the true dark of the multiverse can be known only by directly experiencing as much of the multiverse as of the universe as possible, tasting every substance, feeling every range of emotion, and visiting every place in the multiverse. Their faction headquarters is at the Civic Fest Hall, where they seek to bring experience to all of Sigil. At the moment, they are the most numerous faction in all Sigil, and the most powerful. If I am not mistaken, the most recent census of their member is over 20 times 1,000. 20 times 1,000 members. Work. The city. Factions. There are 15 factions in Sigil. Once there were 49 factions, then about 600 years ago, the Lady of Pain let it be known that only 15 would remain. That was known as the Great of Evil. And sure enough, in a fortnight, 34 of them perished or faded. Many thousands died by sword or by other means. Many were simply found dead. I myself am a member of the Fraternity of Order. Others include the Believers of the Source, the Dustmen, the Harmonium, the Mercy Killers, the Revolutionary League, I don't know them. All the others I've heard about. The Society of Sensation, and the Zaotex, or Chaos Men. Believers of the Source, also known as Godmen, Godsmen. Let's start at the top. Fraternity of Order. That's you. You just talked about your faction. Believers of the Source.
Updated my journal.
The Godsmen. Godsmen have their headquarters. I will kind of pass through this quickly because we know all this.
Updated my journal.
I myself uphold their beliefs. You sound as if you disagree with them. Simply because the linchpin of their system of beliefs revolves around a matter of faith. I would require artifacts and nothing else, my good man, to give up my love for this life so easily. But I see, sir, that you have little time for debate.
Updated my journal.
The Harmonium is devoted to peace and harmony throughout the plains. That's their name. They believe that the end justifies the means, however, and so are willing to do just about anything to get a fellow to see things their way, regardless of one's personal opinion of them. They do a fine job of policing Sigil streets. The Mercy Killers.
My journal.
Those new to Sigil often commit the error of thinking their name implies that they kill out of mercy. Rather, though, it is that they seek to kill mercy itself. The faction members take it upon themselves to punish the guilty of Sigil, whatever the cost. The Revolutionary League.
Updated my journal.
They are also called the Anarchists. Oh, not many know this, but the Revolutionary League is actually quite widespread in Sigil. Surprise. And a shame that is too. They hold a misguided belief that all institutions have been established to block their access to the truth of the multiverse. The only way to discover the truth is to tear down all organization. They claim the truth can only be discovered when people are completely free. Shakes his head. I often wish they would open their eyes to the truth around them. They do nothing but blind themselves and block everyone's access to truth. Gives a long sigh and wags his finger disapprovingly, as if talking to some imaginary bad child. It is interesting to note that they have no real plans for seeking the truth past tearing down everything that they can see. Very interesting indeed. It is also of interest that while the Revolutionary League has a large number of members, the very nature of their faction causes these members to work counter to each other's interests. Often cells fight among each other, each one claiming to know the proper way to go about tearing everything down. Sensations. Sensates. The Society and Sensation, they are one of the most prominent of Sigil's 15. They hold the belief that the true dark of the multiverse can be known only by directly experiencing as much of the universe as possible, tasting every substance, feeling every range of emotion, and visiting every place in the multiverse. Their faction headquarters is the Civic Festal, where they seek to bring experience to all of Sigil. At the moment, they are the most numerous faction, the most powerful.
Updated my journal.
He hums rabble rousers, not the proper faction at all. That raggedy bunch. Why, even the Revolutionary League is more organized. The Xaositex think that, by embracing chaos, they'll somehow discover the secrets of the multiverse. Ridiculous notion. I'd like to hear more of this other faction. We've done the factions. The city, the Lady of Pain. She is the force behind Sigil, very impressive. What is known about her? Begins ticking off the points of his fingers. 1. She's not just a symbol of Sigil, as some claim. She's very real and very dangerous. 2. She's believed to be the one that keeps the power, deities, out of Sigil. As long as she's present, the powers cannot enter Sigil. 3. She also prevents unauthorized teleporting and gating into and out of Sigil, and prevents the other plane's creatures from bringing even more of their kind to Sigil, outside of the conventional routes. 4. She has never spoken to anyone. 5. She usurped control of Sigil from Auskar, a power none believed dead. A power now believed dead. 6. Anyone who threatens Sigil or her is punished, either by falling beneath her shadow, which results in a series of invisible stab wounds and can kill even greater Bahatsu, or by being sent to the mazes, from whence few ever escape. 7. She does not like to be worshipped. Those that do are often found with their skin missing. And lastly, the sight of her is believed to drive others mad. She stole control of Sigil from the power. How do you know this? It is the belief of my order. You said the sight of her drives people mad. Yes, but I must add the caveat that I have never seen her, you understand? So how is it that you know she created Sigil? It is the belief of my order. But you talked about like the faith thing. You said you didn't believe about the faith. You said you needed proof about stuff. You have no proof of this. What's outside Sigil? No one knows, and it is not from what of trying. At the places where no true wall exists, or solid walls of buildings, with no windows that look beyond, some claim to have climbed roofs and see the outside of Sigil. They can only describe the outside as nothing. That is an unacceptable explanation, but it still remains a mystery. It is rumored, without a fact, that to step beyond Sigil's walls take the traveler to a random plane, but this has not been confirmed. The Fraternity of Order has mounted many expeditions, and we have yet to retrieve country information. Fraternity of Order. Yeah, you guys. Where's daylight come from? I don't see a sun. The A's can make it difficult to determine for certain, so I understand your difficulty. The light comes not from a sun, but from a gradual luminescence that fills the sky. It reaches a peak called peak, then fades until the sigil is completely dark, called anti-peak. The source of luminescence is unknown, but it's most likely the lady's will. Okay, researches. I like note systems in game. Love it. Every game should have that, especially nowadays.
I'm gone.
So Abel, Ponder, Nelle has just disappeared.
Right. We need to set up Kip now.
No questions. He doesn't want to answer questions.
Put him on wanker, I know about that, right?
Done.
I don't know about any brothel, but I'm up for whatever you're offering. Sure, why not? Miss? Oh, I didn't really see the 500 comments. No, fuck that. We're not. No.
All right.
No. No.
Right.
It's
We
going
need to
there
say our
because I'm a
kip now.
completionist.
I'm gone.
There's no reason to come here.
All right.
Did we finally... No, I think there's still some missing parts here in the middle. But we can get a new character now. And I'm sick of the night anyway. So let's go get our new character. Right here.
All right.
I'll have to check my journal. I may have some other quests to do. This crackling, billowing creature twists slowly. Yeah, we know. Wonder if this decanter of endless water will do something. You tilt the decanter over the grill and begin to pour. A small stream of ice blue water pours from the decanter and touches the flames of the grill with a violent hissing and a rush of steam. As if in response to this challenge, the decanter seems to lunge forward, falling onto the grill and shattering. By the hells. Hissing billows of steam and a furious crackling noise rushes from the grill, spilling over you and forcing you to cover your ears and turn away. There is a scream, a crackling, a terrible sound like 100 buildings burning. People screaming, their screams being cut short by the roar of flame and melting flesh. Cover your ears, block out the sound. As you put your hands over your ears to block out the sound, you feel a stickiness on your hands, like hot cheese or candle wax. Your ears are bleeding from the sound. You draw your hands back and see them covered with chunks of melted flesh, filled with bloody swirls. Try and get out of the bar. You are about to run from the bar, anything to get away from the sound, when suddenly all falls silent, except for a jagged crackling coming from the grill. You turn, on the grill lies the decanter of endless water. Now nothing but the shards and steam. Above it is the creature, flames still trailing from its body, floating over the bar's floor. It is staring at you, its eyes flickering like two torches. I know you. The creature's face splits, charred flesh peeling away from its jaw so that it might speak. Yes. Its voice crackles, burns, roars through the creature's chest, and with every word, flakes of cinder and ash spit from its mouth and drift into the air. You can barely stand to look at the thing. The blazing radiance surrounding it is terrible to behold. Ignis.
Long have I slept dreams of flames. I am yours till death comes for us both.
Okay, he said all these things here. We shall see. Okay, we shall see, and I was like, are we gonna fight here? What the fuck?
Because here's you.
He's cool, he's cool. He's a level 7 mage. Biography. No more talk and wonder. Ignis wishes to burn. Ignis burned so long ago, yet once. Once Ignis knew nothing of flames. He set small fires, tiny flames, tiny flinkerings. The fires grew. Ignis set fires in the streets, lit the fires of anger in their hearts. They sought to punish Ignis. The small fires, flies from the hive. They wished to see Ignis burn after Ignis set fire to their streets. Tiny magelings, edge wizards, runecasters, tiny sparks of magic came to punish Ignis for hurting their loved ones. They sentenced Ignis to burn. They made Ignis a torch of spitting flame. Burning, burning, it was justice, they said. It was not a sentence. There is so much flames and pain, and there is no pain. There is light and heat, and the flesh runs as tallow across my bones. And for the first time, Ignis was pleased. When the plains burn and all life is torches, then Ignis shall at last be at peace. This guy's chaotic neutral. I int. I constitution. You would have to have high constitution. Ignis fireballs, okay. Journal. Beasts. Ignis. Ignis is a burning man, one who has fallen in love with the flames. When you poured the decanter of endless water over him, it did nothing to douse his flames. Merely snapped the bonds of the spell that held him motionless and burning. It has become something more than human now, something primal. Something in your heart tells you that he holds the power to destroy you utterly. Spells. Seeking Flames. Tongues of Flames. So Seeking Flames just works like missile, like magic missile, I guess. Grant all enemy target -1 to attack. So, oh, interesting. So it doesn't do damage. And this is damage. Do 5 points of fire damage. No saving throw. 1 extra missile every 2 level for a total of 5 missile at level 9. So he's already at 4 missiles. 3 missiles. Okay. I prefer this. This is kind of shit. The caster gains +3 to hit bonus to his attack roll. The orb does 1/6 point of damage, inflicts -1 penalty to strength, dexterity for 10 seconds. It's only 1/6 points of damage. The penalty on strength, dexterity. Who cares? -1. Who gives a shit? Just fear. Nice. 1 target per meteor, just fury rain. Resistance to fire, which I'm pretty sure this guy already has resistance to fire. Yeah. Yeah, he has immense resistance to fire. So what? Who gives a shit about? He has 125 resist. Like, fire does nothing to him.
Done.
Let's go talk to her, the woman. As you approach the woman to talk to her, Ignis' eyes flare up, and before you can stop him, he embraces her. She returns his embrace, losing herself in his flame. She does not cry out. Your last glimpse of her is burned into your memory. Her eyes are full of fiery passion and all. Not even ashes. That was thorough, Ignis, and hasty. I wanted to speak with her. And she's dead. We spoke with her, right? Since it gave us nothing.
I'm gone.
Not even XP or anything. I'm just gonna not talk to her.
Yes.
What happened to you to make you this way? This way. This way. This always was. But you look human, at least. You look like you were human once. Ignis twists, hunching his head forward as his body spins slowly above the ground, the effects in which like fairy whirlwind thermals streaming off his body and distorting the air around him. Still Ignis, always Ignis. As you open your mouth to speak, Ignis suddenly whirls on you. You are forced to choke back your words as you eat from his frame floods over you. Ignis might you be. Sparks in bodies, always seeking to rise. What do you mean? All things burn inside. Ignis' head cranes back and throws his arms wide. Spirals of flames and heat traveling up his arms only need to be kindled with flames to become Ignis. So might you have been Ignis. Actually, if you end up trying to kindle the flames with people, you usually end up killing them. So you're saying everyone has the potential to become like you with the right spark. Yes. Ignis grins, cocking his head to one side. No more talk and question. But I wish to speak of flames, Ignis, and of burning. Your words are like oil, and you watch them fill Ignis' eyes, fanning the flames you see there. Flames! Ignis drift down slightly, the heat around him rising as if in interest. Speak, Ignis will listen. What happened to you to make you this way? Is it true you burned down the Alley of Dangerous Angles? Yes, a dream shall Ignis share. Maybe later. For now, no. Right now, I've heard enough. I guess he just talks to us about. I want to hear about it. A torrent of flames pours from Ignis, and you take a step back. The air bending from the heat. Streets at night, so cold. Ignis burned the buildings. The dwellers all ran from Ignis. The flames and the buildings were as flames. Screams as the dwellers became torches. I've heard enough. They sit quietly, wait for his ranting to die. Buildings as skeletons, angles, bodies as skeletons, reds and oranges and blacks, the flames spreading, caressing such lights. Ignis' fury dies, the red of flames surrounding him, emitting somewhat. Ignis was pleased. What were you doing in the smoldering corpse bar? You knew nothing of flames. Yes. Once Ignis knew nothing of flames, he said small. Yeah, we know about this. Uh-oh. Usually when I say this, it's fine. You speak, but it doesn't seem to hear you. It seems to be somewhere else, as if reliving a memory through his words. Against your will, you stop and listen. They sought to punish Ignis, the small flies from the hive. They wished to see Ignis burn. Didn't he say that already? Tiny sparks of magic came to punish Ignis for hurting their loved ones. They sent his Ignis to burn, made Ignis a torch, a spitting flame, burning, burning. It was justice, they said. Justice. This story reminds me of the story of Freddy Krueger, like the Nightmare on Elm Street story. And then he became something like even worse because like the parents decided to kill him by flame also. I don't know if it's a reference or if it's inspired by that. It just feels like it. Ignis stops his rotation, his gaze falls upon you. As it does, the fires in his eyes flare, and a sharp grin splits his features, the flesh crackling. Ignis wears the face of all elves of flames, and his next words are spoken like a death sentence. And not only for you, but for everyone everywhere. When the plains burn, and all life is torches, then Ignis shall at last be at peace. Okay. I spoke with a storyteller in the hive, and he mentioned that someone taught you these things. Who? Of learning and teachings, you know, gouts of flame erupt from Ignis' mouth. You have always taught Ignis. Ignis' master, you were. Are you sure? Interesting.
Updated my journal.
Yes, Ignis obeys you. Till death comes for us both. Your words to me, your student Ignis. Ignis has not forgotten, master. Ignis, it must have been a long time when you learned the art. Are you absolutely sure it was me? If I was your master, can you remember anything about me? Are you sure? Yes. And my face changed. How do you know? Tiny flames, the spark, the flames, the same. This is important. Can you remember anything about me? Surrender to the memory. The crackling of Ignis' flame subsides, listening as the charred bones of Ignis' body fold up, twisting into itself, into his limbs, lie motionless, becoming a stack of wood within a huge iron fireplace. You are staring into a fire, burning brightly within a vaulted room. The fire crackles and spits embers into the stone floor, motes rising from the fireplace. Faintly from the darkness behind you, you can hear the rasp of someone breathing. I can hear you step into the light. There is a shuffling of sandals, and a frail youth steps into the edges of the firelight. His wide black eyes catch the flames and mirror them. He's nervous. You can hear his muscles shaking. His voice trembling, just enough to increase your irritation. Forgive my intrusion, Master. You have already intruded, supplicant. You did so with intention. I will hear it now, then you will lead me to my thoughts. The boy takes a deep breath and glances at the fire. Master, I dreamed of flames again last night. They felt real, and you said they were to come to you if... And you said that we were to come to you if... It was a dream, nothing more, now leave. The boy does not move. His brow draws together, and slowly it displays his hands. The flash around the fingers, black and burned. How did your hands become to be burned, supplicant? I awoke and my hands were as ash. The boy meets your gaze. He is still trembling faintly, but there is an eagerness in his voice which angers you. I dreamt I soared above the earth, and the ground and the sky were as fire. The world itself was so bright that it hurt to look at it, Master. And when I awoke, my hands, they were burned, as if I had held a flame within my hands. You lie, supplicant. You have come to me with a story, and now you're in danger of angering me. No, Master. The boy's face glistens with a sweaty sheen of fear. No, upon my life, I do not. You burden yourself with a candle, supplicant. You burn yourself with a candle, or trust your hands within one of the pyres in the vault of currents. Now you come to me and tell me a dream burned you? I tire of your lies. The boy falls silent, and to your surprise, his face clenches in anger. No, I do not lie. It was a dream that burned me, Master, as you said it might, if we felt the power stirring. They were your words, and I came to repeat them to you, and tell you they are true. Holds up his hands. Look, Master. Grab his hands. Before the boy can react, your hand, huge in comparison, latches out, crushing his burned hands in its grip, and the boy screams, echoing in the vault. With a snarl, you hurl him to the ground in front of the fireplace. And there is a sharp crack as his knees strike the flagstone. Look into the flames, supplicant. Rise. The boy is shuddering from the pain from his knees. You watch tears blur his eyes as he raises his head to look into the fireplace. The flames cast his face in a red, gaunt glow. Is that what you wish to hold, supplicant? Is that shaping of flames what stirs your heart? Know that flames can burn. If you would learn their power, you must suffer their touch. The boy is silent, staring at the flames. He seems mesmerized. His tears have dried in the heat, and the shaking is gone. The flames are his focus. He is not listening to you, and you feel fury washing over you. And that is what consumes you, enough for you to intrude upon my meditations, and I shall teach you of the shaping of flames, supplicant. Your hand lashes out and clamps into the boy's wrist. He howls as you drag him close to the fireplace, then thrust his hands into the coals. There is crackling, hissing of burning flesh, and his screams such terrible yet. To learn you must suffer, supplicant. You must allow yourself to be burned by the power of that which you wield. Know its torment, and you shall know how to use it against your enemies.
Updated my journal.
10,000 XP. Your vision clears, the enemy streaming away like smoke. Ignis is hovering above you, his head cocked to one side, and an insane black grin smear across his face. Master Ignis has not forgotten your teachings. Can you teach me any of your powers? Ignis burns in suffering. Ignis learns. I'm willing to suffer for you. No. What does that mean? I'm sorry. I feel that's not a good idea to say this. No, speak. Speak of flames. Speak of the burning. Very well. He doesn't want me to stop talking. No, we'll speak another time, not now. Have you ever felt a building a flame? The flames licking the edges of the timbers, blackening the wood beneath. Watching the heat peel the paint from the walls. That crackling, the smell of burning straw. More XP. As you speak, the crackling of the flames around Ignis' frame ebbs, as if the flames themselves are listening to your words. When you finish, Ignis hisses softly, and the flames in his eyes have dimmed, as if he's lost in a memory. Yes. We'll speak later. Stay calm in the meantime. Stay calm. We still haven't leveled up yet. No, we're not close to leveling up. This is because we're a mage. The couple of few levels until we hit like at least level 12, if not 15, will be very slow. But then it'll be very fast.
Ignis hears you. Yes.
Let's say I'm sorry. No, let's say, can you teach me any of your powers before? I'm willing to suffer. You are about to speak the words. You feel a crawling sensation in the back of your skull. You are suddenly struck with the certainty that the knowledge Ignis has to teach may permanently scar you. But you don't know how you know this. We're just saved. I'm willing. Piece of self are burned away. Teach me some of the art. 6,000 XP. Decreased by 1. That's not a big deal. Where flames once burned, one may send them again. Before you can react, Ignis' claw latches out and clutches your finger. With greedy hisses, he burns it. You force your eyes open to see the burning mass of your hand. From where Ignis touched it, he floats above, uncaring, cradling your fingers, and snaps the tip off, leaving just the base. He hisses cinders and ash drifting from your mouth. What did you do?
Updated my journal.
I wish to learn more. Let's go. I just saved anyway. Suffer. More of the arts. Way more. 12,000. Now we lost 3 HP. You force your eyes open to see the burning mass of your hand from where Ignis touched it. Only a blackened stump remains twitching, blood steaming from it. Ignis seems oblivious to your pain. His attention is devoted to your severed hand, which is holding. Give me back my hand! Ignis ignores you. You watch as flames from his hands encircles your severed hand like a breath, slowly burning the last remains of flesh from it. Like a sculptor, until only the fused bone remain. He gives a long, low hiss and then remains and flings his creation back to you. You manage to catch it in your remaining hand. Notice the flesh of your severed hand is re-knitting itself, slowly, painfully. It looks like it's regrowing. What did you do?
Updated my journal.
Teachings. I wish to learn more. No more piece of cells are burned away. You need piece of me in order to teach me? What about the strip of my intestines? Holy shit! This cocks his head, and as you hold up your intestines, then he suddenly swoops in and snatches it from your grasp. Holding it, he strings it between two hands like rope, and he hisses to himself. You watch the intestines steam as he holds them, turning black, and you feel a slow burning pain in your abdomen. Ignis strings out the intestines, end span by end span, and as he lets each length fall from his grasp, it starts rotating around him like a spiral, snaking in a slow pattern. Couldn't we start with the intestine? Is intestine? There seems to be some dancing pattern. Damn. The burning in your abdomen makes you wince, but it's nothing compared to the pain you felt when Ignis struck the other portion of your body. You watch your burning guts spiral in Ignis flames, and suddenly they gutter out. They fall into Ignis' hands and give a hiss and throw them to you. Much power in immortal organs.
Updated my journal.
Suffer more. No, we can't suffer more. I'm sorry. No torments. Are you sure, supplicant? Let's try this. New flames bleeding from his chest. Supplicant, no more! Speak such again, Ignis will burn you. Try it, supplicant. It seems I have to remind you of your station. Never mind then. We're getting there, we're getting there. Even though that was amazing XP, I was about to cancel all that. Infernal Shield now. We even get a spell out of this. Did we get any spell or maybe abilities? Oh, we need level 5 spells. Maybe could learn these things. They're not the best spells. They're pretty shitty spells. At least keep them on yourself. Take this charm. Oh, these are things I took. Okay, so it gave me XP, but it also gave me spells, I think. Okay, so I lost 4 HP. No big deal. Infernal Orb. Oh, so we'll get Infernal Orb, which is not my favorite spell. Infernal Shield, which again kind of sucks. Seeking Flames. And we didn't get the one I wanted, which was Tongue of Flame. We didn't get this. We got all the other ones, but I don't care about. Infernal Orb is not the best, but maybe among my other level 2 spells I'll finally use. 7 tone negates the whole thing. I need to hit the guy with a +2 hit bonus, but I still need to hit the guy. And he still has a saving throw. And even if everything works, he could get 2 damage and -1 strength dexterity, which could amount to nothing. This is 2/8 hit points of acid damage, and for every 3 levels of the caster, that means I'm level 9. That means 2 more. Last 5 seconds. Like, this is so much better. Whatever. I just hope that the intestines are not used for anything else. Let's see. Torment, intestine. Intestines. Intestine? How do you say that? With +4 intelligence, I can get the intestines. And then, okay, no, that's the reason that's the reason I got it in the first place.
I'm gone.
Journal. The curse. I think we done the curse. We did a part of this quest. We did get a vial of skin and blood. And that's for the Dream Builder. We'll go back to that. So we don't have any, like... We don't have many quests to resolve. Oh, the guy is in the Civic Pestle.
Done.
What we're gonna do now is just go back to our creche.
All right.
We're gonna sleep. We're gonna dump our stuff. A couple of stuff to remove.
Done.
What kind of damage does this do? 1-3 missile, 2-8 fire. It's not magical. So it's not amazing. It'd be nice to give him a magical blade. He probably cannot use this. Maybe he can't use anything.
I'm gone.
So I don't think I need this anymore. When the need arises, so let's keep this.
All right.
Keep the hammer, keep this, keep this, keep this. Oh, that. Should still. What is this again?
Aye, might as well.
I'm pretty sure I don't need this anymore. Let's say we don't need this anymore. This is magical, so let's keep it.
Endure. Your path is mine.
What's this pouch again? I don't think I need this. These are just hammers. Well, sometimes you need the hammer for something. Like I needed this hammer to, I don't know if the forge hammer would have worked. These rags, I don't know, enchanted battle axe. Let's leave it there. Let's keep this though.
What's up? Good is done.
Right. We need to set up Kip now.
Alright, let's keep one of the iron ore. Why don't you have the teeth on you?
Hey!
I guess when I got him back, I didn't re-equip him? He looks re-equipped. Oh, I removed it to see if I could upgrade it. This can be used, but only by me. What's this again? +1 knock temporary. Give this to you. Keep the forge stuff. What's this again? Yeah, apparently I need these items for something. Yeah, the builder. Let's give this to him. I know I have it. Tomb plans. Yes, yes, yes. Keep the rat stuff. Yeah, we
Yeah.
have a shit ton of stuff
Okay.
to remove. I don't think I need this anymore. He also has a pouch. I have 2 pouches.
Huh? Okay.
Strength. That's the fire. Yeah, keep that. That makes sense that you have this. Yeah, you can put that there. Nice. Organization. Let's give this to you, just to make some space here.
All right.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, I'll take a break and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
The Dig, coming this fall.
Earthworm Jim, one of the hottest selling video games of 1994. Winner Video Game Product of the Year, and star of TV, toys, and now Windows 95.
Jim is a plasma blasting superhero, a lean, mean, crawling machine.
This swarm is bursting with adventures and exploding with attitude through an incredible 20 levels of high-octane gameplay. From New Jump City to Buttville.
Every level is this totally unique environment, of course oozing with lower life forms, like Psychro, Professor Monkey for a head, Major Mucus, and of course Queen Slug for a butt. It's a galaxy of unearthly delights.
Earthworm Jim.
He's an international supernova fighting for truth, justice, and the invertebrate way.
Available for Windows 95 from Activision.
Rich and wonderful new worlds have been discovered. You are at war with 3 diabolical lords in a struggle for their domination. Dangerous creatures, strange beings, magical figures, low villains, and glorious heroes roam the land. Recruit your own battle forces, gather your resources, and set out on the adventure of a lifetime. Heroes of Might and Magic, a strategic quest from New World.
Warning. Warning. UFO detected.
We're back. Oh, it's starting to be night again. Rest. That is probably not enough. So another rest. Right. That's gonna be night. Okay.
Done.
Oh, we can't traverse here. We have to traverse there. Okay, back to the Clerk's Ward, right? I think so. I don't have anything else to do. Why is it still night? God damn it, just moving takes time? Ah, man, I didn't think about that. What are you talking about? Fuck. What about this quick save then?
I'm gone.
Was this before? This was before. God damn it. Okay, this is healed up, but it's still pretty late.
Alright.
Okay, maybe now if I travel there. Does it tell me the time it takes to get there? I want to be daytime, that's all. It doesn't tell me the time. 8 a.m. That's amazing. That's exactly what I wanted.
Alright.
Okay, so there's some places here I have not been in the middle. We have not been into Under Sigil, but there's no reason to go there. I have reasons to go to the Civic Fest Hall. There's also the Dream Machine and the Taylor thing. But let's go in the middle first. No matter, we did talk to you. I did get the costume. No, I forgot to buy the costume. No, not yet. He says you owe him 30 copper for the work. He does. He did say that. Hey, base. What? I'll return when I have it. Farewell. What costume? Thanks for that. Oh, yeah. And where is this guy? Conclave the Tailor. Oh, there's a tailor place here. The tailor. It's right in there. It's in there, right there. Can the Arlish join the party? No.
Done.
No, you can get a Thieveling to join your party. You can get a Succubus to join your party, but no Arlet. Pick up a Dustman costume. I'll take it. What sort of magical clothes do you have? Nothing that would fit me. He was right. Nothing that would fit me.
Updated my journal.
Wait, Gonclav said many men were already going to this masquerade as dustmen. Did he? Blast! I would hate to arrive in such a common costume. I could go see if he has another one ready. I could try and get another one for you, but it'll cost you. Not a bad idea, not too bad. Quickly, see if the portly nincompoop has another, would you? I'll return with another costume.
Updated my journal. I'm gone.
What is this costume thing? Ignis is like, what the fuck is going on here? I wanted to pick another different costume. The Dustman bit seems a bit too common after all. Godsman costume. I'll take it. Here you are, thanks. That was 50 copper though. It cost me 50 commons. It was 80 commons.
Updated my journal.
Another 6,000 XP, holy shit. Now I'm off, farewell. Bye bye, updated my journal.
Done.
Yeah, let's go here. A slender young man approaches you wearing a somewhat worried expression. 1,000 pardons, sir. I'm looking for a certain man, and I think you might be able to help me. How so? I'm a messenger, sir, who seeks a man it said cannot die. A scarred man, for whom death is nothing but the most trivial of annoyances. You match the admittedly vague description I was given, sir, and I wondered if you were he. Just who wants to know? I'm in the ire of wealthy noble woman, Jalmi Sirma. I am the man you're looking for. A message for you then. Mistress Jolmi of the house Sirma, a lady of high standing, has sent me. Mistress Jolmi would meet in the civic fest hall, where she would make a proposal, of which I know nothing, to you. Should you choose to seek her out, she wears green silks, trimmed with gold, and has hair the color of blue steel. That is the extent of my message, sir. Where's the civic? We know where it is. We know where it is. Old poet. Did we talk to you? Echo the poet. Wait, that's funny. Let's try that. You echo and jeer at the poet, making fun of his style and verse. I guess we just became more chaotic. Eli Avalok. This narrow-eyed, sharp-faced man is scanning his surroundings with a look of vague disinterest, pausing occasionally to look down and pick at his fingernails. Despite being clothed in silk and velvet finery, he manages to look unsavory and more than a little dangerous. The man looks your way. His eyes are dark slits like narrow stab wounds beneath his brow. His voice is low and gruff despite his slender build. Pykoff. Questions? Okay, he really doesn't want to talk to me, so he probably has something to do with a quest. Or he's an evil character that only talks to good characters. That's also possible. Okay, let's go in there. The brothel. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
I'm gone.
Oh, Fall from Grace. There you go. I actually thought she was in the mess hall. Not the best hall or whatever. Well, let's go. Let's talk to Fall from Grace. Before you, a stunning gold-hair woman, dressed in an azure and violet dress, with two long, elegant wings draped across her shoulders. She is surveying the room with a slight smile. She is easily the most beautiful woman you have ever seen. Greetings.
Well met, traveler. How may I help you?
Who are you?
Updated my journal.
I'm updated your journal. I'm called Fall from Grace. You are new to Sigil, are you not? Yes, I am. Does it show? That's an interesting name. Let's not talk about the name immediately. Does it show? Oh, we can't talk about the name now. What is this place? It's the brothel of slating intellectual lusts. She studies you for a moment. I take it by your question that you do not intend to partake of this establishment. Brothel of slating intellectual lusts. What kind of brothel is this? I established this brothel to give those lustful fevers that strike the mind more avenues of expression rather than the simply carnal, which pleasures can be had in conversation and engaging in the verbal arts with others. Sounds dull. I assure you it is not. Toward the brothel, see for yourselves. So this is a brothel where there's no intercourse. Only a psychological nature. Rest assured, it is still quite stimulating. Why did you establish this place? That is an odd question. I don't think anyone has ever asked me directly. I didn't mean to be so direct. I was merely curious. I am more than happy to discuss the reason with you if you wish. I would like to hear them, yes. Part of the answer to your question requires that you know that I am a member of the Society of Sensation. Our faction believes that one should experience as much of the multiverse as possible, and that is why you established this place. This brothel is intended to slate the lusts of even the ardent intellectual. It is designed to stimulate the mind, to heighten one's awareness of themselves and others, to create new ways of experiencing another person. It is for those who seek something more than the shallow physical pleasures that fill the hive and lower wards. I see. So this establishment just encourages intellectual fencing rather than, the other kind of fencing. The women here must be special indeed. The women here are aspiring sensates. They have come to me in search of instruction, to prepare themselves to enter the faction. Also, many of them have natural grasps of language that can shatter the crust of the most ardent individual. Sensate. Yes, I'm a member of the Society of Sensation, yes. The girls here are training to be sensates. Who are you again? Who are you again? That's an interesting name. Can it be you have forgotten me already? Lady Grace, I assure you, I have no fear of being forgotten by me. You are quite memorable. Next you, Anna Isses. Psst, what are you on about? Bandying them fancy words around, as you sense, Lefty. Calm down and be silent. I'm speaking to someone here, all right? I was just complimenting her so she would pardon my rudeness, Anna, all right? You're playing the dandy, so you are. I mean, fool you are for doing it with a fiend. Are you bound for the Cackle House next? Fall from Grace becomes somber as she glances back and forth between the two of you. No offense was meant, forgive my teasing. No harm was done, and no apologies are necessary, my lady. Can I ask you some other questions? Who are you again? That's an interesting name. What does it mean exactly? The meaning of name is a complicated subject. There is much to be said, and a great deal that is better left unsaid. It is tale for another time, I think. Is Fall from Grave your real name? Perhaps, perhaps not. There are names which are given and names which are earned. Who is to say which is the real one? Not I. The wings on your back, you are not human, I take it. She's one of the fiends, one of the succubi, she is. She'll take your measure. Then she'll take your soul to the lower planes, so she will. Your companion is correct. I am a lesser Tanari, more specifically a succubus. She gives a soft sigh. I'm afraid we're a little too common in the lower planes and elsewhere for our own good. Most of my race spend their time seducing mortals with various pleasures of the flesh. And you?
Updated my journal.
I like to think that I have distanced myself from that. It is ultimately a trivial and non-productive way for one to spend one's time here in the multiverse. There is much more to life. Wouldn't you agree? Perhaps I have some questions. What is this place? We know about this. I came here looking for help. Perhaps you can help me? What kind of help? I seem to have lost my memories. In so doing, I lost myself. Yeah, I've been stricken with amnesia. Fall from grace looks pained. How terrible. Do you have any idea what happened? Not really. At least not that I can remember. I woke up on a slab in the mortuary and everything before that is black. You awoke in the mortuary. I think the dustman mistook me from being dead. Or was dead or something. All I know is that I regenerate wounds quickly. I could be immortal, but I don't even know for sure. Seems to be appraising you with renewed interest. Those scars on your body. May I? Yes. Sure. Yes. Actually, I prefer not to discuss this one. Yes. Fall from Grace drags her finger across your chest lightly, tracing the edges of your scars and following the curves where they blend to some of your tattoos. She seems fascinated. These scars do look as if they would have taken several lifetimes to accumulate. They certainly do, though some are more recent. Fall from Grace steps back. Some of those wounds would have been fatal to a normal man. She taps her chin, thinking, what do you intend to do now? I need to get my memories back and my life back. I intend to scour the plains and search inside myself until I can piece together who I am and what brought me to this state. I really don't know. For the moment, I'm just searching for clues to who I am and what happened to me. Let's go with this one. Fall from Grace, still thinking, her finger tapping on her chin. I must say, I've never met a man who had lost himself in the literal sense. Forgive me, but your condition is intriguing. Well, I'm glad you think so. It is that. Intriguing, frightening is more like it. I don't like not knowing who I am, what I may have done, who my enemies are, who are my friends. It is that. If it will help, you are welcome to our tour the brothel. Several of our students are well versed in the verbal arts. Perhaps some of them will be able to rekindle your memories.
Updated my journal.
Tell me about the Sensates. The Sensates are the faction of Sigil that is devoted to experience. Without experience, without sensation, we are blinded to much of the multiverse. Thus, Sensates seek to experience as much as possible. When all is experienced, then the truth of the multiverse shall reveal itself. Interesting philosophy. Can I join the Sensate? To join the Sensate, one need only to be a student of life. I mean, I was interested in joining their faction.
Updated my journal.
If you wish to join the Sensate, I will inquire to the Civic Festal. Have you heard of a night hag named Ravel? I am familiar with the name. Paul from Grace pauses and thinks for a moment. Rumors cluster thickly about that name, and most tend to discuss her as myth, but I suspect that she did exist, and that she made quite an impression in the cage during her stay here. Why do you ask? I intend to seek her out. Truly, I find myself compelled to ask why. I need information that she has. Is this information available from no one else? I suspect that only Ravel possesses the knowledge I need.
Updated my journal.
Grace rests her hand lightly on your arm. Consider this. If Ravel does indeed exist, then she is extremely powerful and cunning. If a fraction of the stories of her activities are true, then she is a creature that has discovered new meanings of evil. To search for her is not a quest to be undertaken lightly. I realize that. Do you know anything else about Ravel? She was said to be one of the hags of the Grey Waste, and that she believed to possess power on a cunning far beyond those of her sisters. She came to Sigil long ago, and in addition to the evil she committed during her stay, rumor has it that her actions threatened the cage itself. Now she primarily exists only as fiction, a figure in children's stories. I imagine the Lady of Pain dealt with her as all threats to Sigil are dealt with. How?
Updated my journal.
Ravel will most likely sent to a maze, one of the lady's prisons. What are those?
Updated my journal.
Even though we know exactly what are those. The power to take pieces of Sigil and make mazes. Go on. The small ghostly piece floats in the air and then begins slowly. The piece of Sigil she takes holds the prisoner. There's no escaping being mazed. Can happen. That's not right. That's not correct. There is escaping being mazed. I'll probably prove this by the end of this playthrough. And then you are somewhere else, inside the ghostly circle. You can suddenly see a flicker of movement, like someone walking inside. Go on. Grace continues, a tiny ghost maze reflected in her eyes. It is said there is a portal that leads out of each maze, but they are difficult to find. Perhaps they are left in to give the prisoner hope. Perhaps they are left in to torture the prisoner. Perhaps it is both. I see. Can you tell me about this plane that Ravel is from, the Grey Waste? A blighted plane that lies effectively between Bator and the Abyss. It is frequently a battleground in the Blood War. Do you know what happened to Ravel? Ravel was mostly sent to a maze. Someone in the Vestal may know more of her. You know what happened to Ravel? What is the Grey Waste?
Updated my journal.
Questions updated my journal. Would you like to join me on my travels? Anna stiffens and starts muttering under her breath. Who's to say she'll be coming with us? We don't need to like her, so we don't. Bar that fiendling. I'm all for the succubus coming with us. The powers know you're about as fun as passing a caltrop through your bowels. You'd best latch your bone box skull, or I'll rattle you so hard they'll be picking your teeth off the spire. Travel with you? That's rather forward of you. I'd rather be honest with my intentions. You seem extremely pleasant and well versed in the ways of the plains. A companion with that kind of knowledge would be welcome. That's the way I am. You're a sensate. Surely there must be a limit to how much you can learn here. Then I withdraw my request. Let's go with this one. Hey, wait just a minute. That's my job, Chief. I'm the one well versed in the plains. Having two people knowledgeable about the plains in our band seems pretty smart to me. Besides, I said pleasant too, Mort. Pleasant on the eyes, maybe. Looks to me like all some chit has to do is show a little skin and you'll sign her right up. Not that I mind that really, I just thought I'd mention it. Noted, Mort. Look, Lady Grace, excuse me if I'm being too forward. Would you care to travel with us? Why should I travel with you? You mean you wouldn't be interested in traveling with an immortal amnesiac who's searching this plane for himself? Lady Grace, I intend to travel the places perhaps no one else has ever been to or could reach. Would that interest you? How exciting can this place be? You're a sensate. Surely there must be a limit to how much you can learn here. I withdraw my request. Lady Grace. That would indeed. Yet. You mean you wouldn't be interested in traveling with an... Let's go with this. Oh, I would be extremely interested. Such a suggestion is intriguing. Make no mistake about that. Then you would like to travel with me then. If you wish me to, then there is something you must do for me. There are 10,000... There are 10,000... There's 10 students in the establishment. I would like you to speak to all of them, then return to me with your thoughts. Then we shall see if we shall travel together or not. Very well. Can I ask you some other questions before I go?
Updated my journal.
We were done. I think we're done. Let's start on the right. Hello, Eves the Tail Chaser. Greetings. Greetings, I'm Eves the Tail Chaser. With a conch... What a coincidence, I too chase tails. Yes, Eves continues unperturbed. Have you come to trade tails? I'd like to trade tails. I would like that very much. Shit, we have a ton of tales. Tell the story of you waking up in the mortuary. I shall remember this tale. I too will tell the tale of the Dustman, chapter of Dusts. Oh, go on. There are chapters in the Dead Book. The massive tome with the Dustmen keep the records passing all that lives into the eternal boundary. In this book there are chapters that are naught but dust, and it is believed that the names therein are lost souls who cannot die, but must suffer life eternally, until history itself dies and grants them release. I have another tale to share with you. The story of the Alley of Lingering Sighs. Eve leans forward as you tell the tale of the alley giving birth. She seems to devour your every word. As you finish, she smiles at you. I shall remember this tale, and now I have one for you. Before I begin, I must ask, do you know what a Modron is? No. Modrons are a creature of total law, almost more machinery than living things. There are many different sorts of Modron, but all have their place in a very rigid, carefully organized hierarchy. So dedicated are they to the system that they cannot communicate with or even consider the existence of Modrons who are not their immediate superior or inferiors. I understand now. Now I shall tell you the tale of the clock and the quadrone. Once upon a time there existed a Modron who was newly created, its logic fresh and untested, and had come to Sigil following the commands of its Modron superiors. It knew of nothing but commands and dictates, of obedience and passing along the orders of its superiors. For you see, Modrons are only aware of the commands of their immediate superiors. They have no grasp of a higher authority until this one. One day it came upon a small shop, within which there was a small clock that could no longer tell time. It was cracked along the edges, the wheels of its hands broken. The Modron immediately set itself to work at getting the parts to fix the broken clock. It made a new wooden housing for the clock's parts, replaced the bent spring, carefully filled and oiled the clockwork machinery, carved new hands from the sparse metal available to it. The newly repaired clock's precise ticking reminded it of the great gears of Mechanus, and it comforted it as much as anything may comfort a Modron. And what the Modron never came to understand was that it truly loved this clock that it had worked on, and for reasons it could not explain, elected to remain in sigil and be with the clock for the rest of its years. I have another tale to share with you. The Dream Builder. Eve leans forward as you tell the tale of a man who lost his ability to dream and commissioned the construction of a device. We didn't finish this quest though, that would allow him to dream once more. She seems to devour your every word. As you finish, she smiles at you. I shall remember this tale, and now I have one for you, a beekeeper's tale. Once upon a time, a man came into a field of hives. Upon this field he heard thousands of bees, but there was not a single bee to be seen. Among the hives walked a beekeeper, who was extracting the honeycomb from the apparently empty hives. Yet, despite the lack of insects, the drone continued. The man was mystified. He made to speak with the beekeeper, who lifted his hood to reveal a creature made entirely of bees. A mouth-shaped depression formed in the mass of insects, which made up the thing's face. The depression moved as the creature spoke, but the drone was such that its words could not be understood. The man died at that moment, trying to understand what it was that the beekeeper said. I have another tale to share with you. Requin's Curse. I shall remember this tale. The Gilded Tale. Upon the plain of Isgard is the Gilded Hall, where those senseis that seeks the pleasure of gullet and loin can be found. They indulge these passions in the earnest, never realizing that the doors of the hall never open and that there is no clear path back to the civic fest hall. They are the unwanted sensates, the ones that do not truly believe in the faction, but instead seek only pleasure for pleasure's sake. Are prisoners who do not realize they are such truly prisoners? Alley of Dangerous Angles. She's gonna talk to me about the lady's suitor. The tale concerns a suitor of the Lady of Pain, one of many over the years, who was a young man who was obsessed with the Mistress of Sigil. He saw her everywhere, in every corner of the city. He would hear the rustling of the robes, the scrape of her blades, and grew infatuated beyond all reason. He hoped that if he worshipped her, that he would at last be able to see her, and so worship her he did. He was found dead at the blood-soaked step of his own home, grievous stab wounds covering the whole of his body, but his eyes were open wide, and upon his lips was a triumphant smile. Parod. And now I have one for you. Once came a man who had experienced the most beautiful thing in the multiverse. It was his intention to place the experience within one of the Civic Fest Hall sensory stones. Magical devices which held feelings and memories for an eternity, leaving them for others to partake of. But he thought about it. Wouldn't its being shared dilute the experience? So he held it to himself, precious thing that it was, and aged with the memory. But as he aged, the memory became tarnished and beaten, and he could no longer recall the glory of the experience. Tell her the story of Ignis. I shall remember this tale, and now I have one for you, the execution. Go on. Once a murderer roamed Sigil's streets, a black-hearted man by the name of Cossacks. He had been blessed by his abyssal mother, so that no one could strike him with an intent to harm, or they themselves would die. He reveled in his blessing, using it to start fights and murder anyone who crossed his path. During one of his murderous rages, he was captured by the Harmonium with nets and brought back to the governors. The trial was short, final, yet Cossacks laughed at the proceedings, knowing that no one among them could harm him without dying horribly. At the final day of his trial, he was proclaimed guilty and sentenced to death. Cossacks' sentence proclaimed by the governor was this: confinement for thrice 30 days, during which time you shall give up your life, be declared dead, and your body removed from all signs of life. Cease. Cossacks laughed, and dared any of them to try and harm him. Yet the court was silent. Is this me? Oh, I have a feeling this is me. We got this by talking about Ignis. The Mercy Killers led Cossacks to their prison and locked him in a dark, empty cell. There was no lights, and the only door was a steel grate in the ceiling. As they lowered him into the cell, the Mercy Killer told him, "In the corner of your cell will you find a chalice. It holds poison. Your death will be swift." "Aren't you going to execute me?" Cossack snarled at the guard. "No one in Sigil shall lay a hand on you with intent to harm." "And I spit on your cowardice," Cossacks laughed, hitting for the chalice in the darkness, then hurling it at the wall and shattering it. Its poison dripped from the walls and dried until there was no more. "Come then, you will have to try and kill me now." But there was no response from the grate in the ceiling. It was then that Cossack noticed the cell had no cot, no lights, and no food and water. All that remained was the shattered chalice, the poison gone, and for the first time, Cossacks knew the icy touch of death's approach. In twice 30 days, the grate opened, and Cossack's body, now cold, was taken from the cell. It had given up its life, and the execution had been carried out. I guess that must have not been me. Ask one of your companions if they have a story to tell. Wow, Mort. Why do I have to tell a story? Just tell a story. Fine, fine. An elderly man was sitting alone in a dark path, right? He wasn't certain of which direction to go, and he'd forgotten both where he was traveling to and who he was. He'd sat down for a moment to rest his weary legs, and suddenly looked up to see an elderly woman before him. She grinned toothlessly, and with a cackle spoke. "Now your third wish, what will it be?" Oh, now I think he's talking about us. Go on, Mort. Third wish? The man was baffled. How could it be a third wish if I haven't had a first and second wish? "You've had 2 wishes already," the hag said, "but your second wish was for me to return everything to the way it was before you had made your first wish. That's why you remember nothing, because everything is the way it was before you made any wishes. So it is that you have 1 wish left." At this point, I would be afraid to wish something, to wish the same thing I wished the first time. And since the first time my second wish was to erase the first wish, it must have been pretty bad. But that could be my third wish, could be because I don't remember the first wish, could be the first wish all over again. Go on, Mort. Alright, I don't believe this, but there's no harm in wishing. I wish to know who I am. Oh, again, I think that's the wish you don't want the wish to wish. Funny. That was your first wish. No! An interesting tale, and now I've one for you and your companion, the Fiend's Game. A fiend sometimes wandered the wilderness of a certain prime world in the guise of a friendly old man. One day he came upon some hunters in the wood. "What are you doing?" the fiend asked. The hunters told him, and the fiend nodded. "I have never been on the hunt before." The hunters invited the old man to come along, and the group eventually came upon a glade where several deer were grazing. The hunters carried crossbows, but did not fire, and the fiend asked them why. "They are unarmed," hunters chuckled, patting their crossbows. "We hunt nothing that does not have the ability to defend itself. After all, where's the sport in that?" The fiend nodded at this, and promptly gated in 3 of his fellows. The hunters led them on a merry chase, but eventually they were caught and eaten. Another tale. Companions. Anna. I'm not. Don't be asking me such nonsense now. Just tell the story already. Please share your story. Come on already, Fiendling. You already have one tail won't part with. Anna looks uncomfortable, her tail lashing slowly back. Well, I know one story. She suddenly becomes angry, glaring at Eves. But you might not like it. You won't, so don't be blaming me for you choking it out of me. Go ahead. I heard a story when I was a wee lass. This Burke's walking home real late, near Entai Peak. Passes an old toothless crone in a dark and otherwise empty street. "Where you going?" she asks him. "Home to my wife and Kip," he says. "Near the slags, sure enough." So she asks him a favor, to take a box she's got to Deader's Pit and give it to the woman there. Now this Burke's a real sap too nice to say no, despite the fact he's sure something's not quite right about this old crone, and agrees. "But what's the woman's name?" he asks. "Where does she live? Where should I look for her if she's not by Deader's Pit?" The woman hands him the box, a wooden thing wrapped in colored cloth, and tells him to just go. She'll be there. Finally she warns him, "Whenever you do not open the box." So he takes it home and opens the box with him and hides it in the rafters, thinking he'll bring it to the Deader's Pit when it's light out. His wife, though, seeing him hiding the box, gets right jealous, thinking it's a gift for a lover or something, and opens it up as soon as he's not looking. Well, it turns out the box was full of gouged out eyes and severed male members with the hair still on him. Her scream brought the Burke running. He remembered what the crone said, "Go right scared," and wrapped the box back up. He went out straight away to the Deader's Pit. Sure enough, there was another old hag waiting there for him. Hands her the box. "This box has been opened and looked into." The poor Burke tries to deny it, but she gets this dreadful look on her face. "You've done something horrible." That done, he hurries back to his Kip. He's feeling ill when he gets back and takes to bed. His wife bitterly regretted opening the box and all. It was too late. The next day he died of rotting disease, and the first thing to go was his eyes and stem. Anna nods grimly, your tale complete. It was a wonderful tale, and you should never hesitate to share it. I now want to, for you and your companion, the parched tale, the parched land. Once a large village was struck by a terrible drought. A farmer journeyed to the worshipping stone, and again employed it as the cause of the drought. He asked the stone why it did nothing when the fields were parched and dying, why the animals and the people suffered while the stone did not a thing. Have we not given enough offerings? The farmer asked, begging almost upon his hands and knees, but the stone does not respond. Hey, sad boy! It merely sat and cast its shadow. And that was the tale, that's it. Daikon. I shall impart the tale of Akali drowning. He's all ready for the tale. All that time. Was waiting for it the whole time. Hey, it's going great. Daikon tells the story of Akali, a foolish Gitsarai of myth, who had become lost in the chaos of Limbo. Normally, a single Gitsarai may use their focus and mental discipline to form the chaos around them into a small, habitable environment. Akali, however, asked so many useless and unfocused questions in her quest to return home that her isle of matter dissolved around her and she drowned. Fascinating, Daikon. Let me share with you and your companion another version of your tale that I have heard. Daikon looks attentive and perhaps a little surprised. Go on, Eves. Eve goes on to tell a different version of Daikon's tale, in which Akali was driven from the Gitsarai city of Shaktalor for constant, useless prattling. One day, she encountered a Sladdy on his way to Spawning Stone. She hastily erected a wall of chaos matter, which even the ravenous Sladdy found difficult to break down. Hungrily, it waited and spoke to her through the wall. She asked it questions, and as she became more absorbed in her pointless queries and the Sladdy's answers, her own wall decayed and collapsed upon her, and thus she drowned in the matter of Limbo. We arrived to her, she said, can we trade tales? I said, trade tales, and then for literally maybe half an hour we traded tales. What do you call it? The tale chaser. Once upon a time, a girl came to an oracle who was rumored to know many things and ask of it a boon. Her life was in need of direction, so she asked this oracle as to what would give her... Every time we ask her something, she's going to a story. Now the oracle was not evil, but it was vague and tended toward drinks. She caused it to be obscure in many matters of judgment and focus. Its only answer to the girl's question was that within one story that she would hear in her lifetime was a truth that she sought. The girl went off and collected stories, which she chases to this day, not knowing which of the thousand hold the truth. Such is the danger of foolish question and the wisdom of an unspoken one. What are you doing here? Trade tales. Tell me about this place. That is part of the Mistress Grey's story, and we're going to another tale, which is not mine to tell. She has said that when she nears the end of her years, she shall tell me, and only if I pledge never to share it with another. She hopes that she will never need to tell me her tale, for she hopes I will find my own story before that time, and leave this place. I think she fears my life will be squandered in searching for this tale, and not acting upon what I already know, but it cannot be helped. Your own story? Once upon a time, a girl came to an oracle who was rumored to know... Yeah, okay. Can you tell me of one of the stories you already shared again? Tell me a tale of Ravel Puzzlewell. The tale of Ravel Puzzlewell, frightener of children, begins and ends with a question. What can change the nature of a man? Go on. Many were the times she posed this riddle to those who approached her, those who sought to glean from her the strange magics that she alone seemed to possess. All attempted to answer her query, but to no avail, and they found the price of their wrong answer to be some horrible fate, always more terrible than the last victims. To recount their various torments would be to speak of things that nightmares are woven from. The tale strikes me in this way. Ravel herself knew not the answer to this question, but she lusted for such an answer. Only the why of the matter remained in the question. Why did the nature of a man matter to one of the Grey Sisters, especially to one such power as Ravel? It is said that she put the question to the Lady of Pain, not directly, but shouted it to Sigil itself, daring for the lady to answer. When no reply was forthcoming, she wove terrible magics that threatened to open the cage and let the fury of the plains roll in like a wave. She received no answer other than banishment. To this day, no one knows the answer to Ravel's question, and now there is no one to petition, for Ravel herself is gone, lost to the plains.
Updated my journal.
Wait, there is more. Though my tale ends with Ravel's demise, there are some that claim the hag still lives. There's a silent prostitute here who once talked of such things, but she speaks no longer. If she would speak to you, she might tell you more of Ravel. Essentially, like this, I don't think this is like a spoiler or anything. It's pretty obvious that I am the answer and the question to what changes the nature of a man. What else can you tell me of this silent prostitute?
Updated my journal.
Echo, Ives frowns, thinking. Once heard a tale of a girl who knew the word that, if spoken, would undo the multiverse. Perhaps this is Echo. Ask Dolora, though. I understand that she sometimes meets with one who knew Echo before she stopped speaking. She just talked about the silent prostitute, so that's it. Okay, and we end on the tale of Ravel. We have a bunch of other people like that to talk. I don't think they'll talk as much as her. That was a crazy talk. Crazy tales. Everything is a story with this game. You talk to these characters and they go on into these stories. But you compare that to an Ultima 7, for example. Sometimes you would talk to characters and they would go on to tell their stories. But the story was boring as fuck. There's no other way to say it. It's just like, is there a point to your story? Is there a morale to your story? Is it unexpected? Is it interesting? Like a story can be anything. A story can be, I just opened the door and then I went into the other room and that's the end of my story. Oh, Moody, I was just ending the stream. That's cool. We're gonna raid somebody else. Thank you so much for the raid. It's Torment, let's go. I'm sorry, Cody. We just ended the stream though. This is it. This game is amazing indeed. This is the third time I play. And the first time I played I was in my 20s. And even though I thought I was a wise man, I was not. And even though I enjoyed it, I enjoy it way more now. Because I have a changed man. I am the nature of a man that is changed. I have answered the question, what can change the nature of a man? And on that note, we are going to raid somebody else. Thank you for the raid. Lots of people are playing games. Yes, we're going to raid True Neutral Evil Genius. I raided him a couple of times, but he's a new viewer of the channel, and I like his style. I like that he has opinions, even though people might not like his opinions. I like the fact that he has opinions. I don't agree with all his opinions, of course. That's part of being human. But he's playing Atom, which is a game that I want to play someday. So let's raid this dude. I raid a cool streamer and then raid someone else 5 minutes after I raid them. A 5 minute, that's not, I'd say it's not even 5 minutes. I'd say it's like 2 minutes maybe. I'm sorry, but this is it for tonight with Torment. But we're playing more Torment on Wednesday. And starting Wednesday, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'll be playing a shit ton of games. Expect like 10 to, well, maybe not, like 8 to 12 to 10, 8 to 12 hours stream, maybe more. Who knows? Alpha Centauri, XCOM, Blade Runner, and also the games I'm playing right now, like this. Tomorrow we continue Alien vs Predator. For now, good night. See you next time.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
I'll buy that for $1.